A 16-year-old girl was brutally stabbed to death, allegedly by her boyfriend, who was in America illegally. Monica Guy has the story from Long Branch, New Jersey. Monica?
16-year-old Madison Wells had just broken up with her boyfriend when prosecutors say 20-year-old Brian Cordero Castro stabbed her to death. It happened around 10:30 Saturday night in Long Branch, New Jersey. Family members gathered outside of the house on the 200 block of Van Pelt Place. The crime scene tape still littering the front yard Monday. The family is staying at a hotel as the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office continues its work. Cordero Castro allegedly attacked Madison because she didn't want to see him anymore. Madison was rushed to Monmouth Medical Center less than a block away, but it was too late.
Well, you can imagine we're still waiting for the medical examiner's report, but any stabbing with a knife is naturally a lot of blood loss, and that hospital did the best they could to try to save her, but unfortunately it didn't work out.
Monmouth County Prosecutor GRAMICCIon says it didn't take long to put the pieces together and find their suspect.
And roughly 24 hours later, we charged 20-year-old Brian Cordero Castro with a host of charges. We allege that he stabbed and killed his former girlfriend, Miss Wells.
After he faces a judge for those alleged crimes Thursday, Cordero Castro will face immigration officials. Bill, it was explained to me that Cordero Castro was initially in the United States legally, but overstayed his visa.
Thanks, Monica. Okay, let's bring back our A-plus panel for tonight's show. We're joined by Linden Democratic Councilman Peter Brown and Republican strategist Allison Young. Allison, start with you on this.
Sure.
This is now the second alleged illegal immigrant who is being accused of murder in New Jersey in just a couple weeks. And you've got that with the backdrop of the Attorney General in New Jersey talking about coming up with a memorandum and a plan for us to be a sanctuary state. Where does this debate end?
Illegal immigration is, when there are crimes committed, it's tough because what happens is the rhetoric gets ratcheted up. And too many pundits come out and say all immigrants are criminals. And that's just not true. And so we have to be very careful not to ratchet that up. But there's also a domestic violence angle here, too. It's tragic all around, but I just want to make sure we're not just criminalizing all immigrants right now.
That said, Peter, we can criminalize the alleged criminals. And if you look at it and say, hey, if this guy, if we were following our immigration protocol, if we were cooperating, and again, we don't know all the details, but you could make the argument that this young girl could still be alive.
When it comes to immigration, it's very tough. I mean, we look at these cases, to Allison's point, and we magnify it and say, you know, this is why we need a tougher immigration policy. When, again, this is more of a domestic violence issue. And I think this is something that, again, we need to look at as a whole of how do we prevent things like this.
Meanwhile, either way, while the debate goes on, a 16-year-old is dead.
It's tragic.
Right. Thank you, guys.